Hey everyone, Dalen Cossingham with Ronin Fitness. Today I'm going to be going over an arm workout, but it's not going to be our traditional arm workout that's based around weights and resistance training. Obviously we'll have plenty of that, but today is a lot more about the basics. The correct things to look for on the movements when we do a lot of these workouts or when you're doing workouts in general. What should you be squeezing at the top of a repetition? What should you not be? A lot of the time I've noticed, especially with beginners, is there's a tendency to pick up the weight and just move the weight. And unfortunately, that doesn't really breed the results as effectively as a lot of other things. Yeah, you might curl your arm, but maybe you got your shoulder involved. Maybe you're just moving it back and forth too quickly instead of learning where to squeeze and how to squeeze your bicep for the maximum contraction that you could get out of each repetition. So today we're going to go over exactly how to do it. There's going to be no weights, which is the best part. You'll get to use your body as kind of to give yourself some resistance today. And I really just want you to focus on the correct way to move. With that being said, I do want to talk a little bit about why back to basics is important to begin with, which kind of coincides with our exercise routine today. So why is going back to the basics in anything you do important? And I'm going to tell you why. It's because everything advanced normally stems off of mastering the things that are basic, right? You can throw, as a kickboxer, for example, and someone who professionally fights, I can throw as many side kicks as I want, but none of them are good if my original standing still in place side kick is bad. If this one is bad, any of the fancier ones are going to be worse. If you're at work and let's say your job is to organize files at work to make sure everything's neat, but you don't know how to organize other things in your life, like picking up your room, you're probably eventually, those bad habits are going to transfer over into your work because you don't know how to stay organized just in the basic areas of your life, right? And this goes with anything. If you have any skill, any mastery of anything, it's normally because you took the time to get really good at the simple things. And this way, when something advanced was thrown at you, it wasn't hard because you had already mastered the basics. The problem is when people try to move on to really advanced things and they haven't mastered the basics, they have issues with the basics, and then they struggle that much more with things that are advanced because their foundation isn't very good. Think of it like a house, right? If the base of my house, the concrete that lies underneath my house, the foundation isn't strong, my house will crumble in the wind. But if I have a strong foundation, everything else will stand upon it. All right, let's get started today. So here's what we're going to start. We're going to start with the bicep curl, simple and easy. I'm going to come over here this way. You can see my bicep, tricep, upper arm here, and we're just going to do a curl. What I'd like you to do is keep your palm open, and I'd like you to stop right before your hand gets to your shoulder. If your hand is almost at your shoulder, like this, you've gone too far, you've lost the contraction, you only need to go to here. All right, so keep that arm slightly bent. What I'd like you to do is at the top, we're just gonna squeeze our biceps for 3 seconds. Ready? So let's give it a shot. Ready? Coming up and squeeze the bicep. 1, 2, 3. Good, and then back down. Keep my elbow tucked in, same thing. Let's come up again. 1, 2, 3. Tense up that arm just at the top, and then nice and relaxed, coming back down. Relax, 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 and tense. 1, 2, 3. All right, now give yourself a little bit of resistance because this is what you should be doing even when you have dumbbells. Coming up, squeeze, back down. Coming up, squeezing, back down. If you're not squeezing that bicep, you're not getting as much out of your workout as you could be. All right, so same thing. I'm going to put 2 fingers here just to give me a little bit of resistance. I'm going to come up, squeeze, and back down. Let's try 3 more. Again, you can put even more resistance if you want. I'm just using 2 fingers today to kind of, because that's as much as I need to get that contraction. I'm squeezing at the top, and one more time, up, squeezing. Good. Now let's try it with the other arm. Same thing, just to make sure that we work evenly. Try 3, where you squeeze, no resistance. So up, 1, 2, 3, and down. Up, 1, 2, 3, and down, and then up, 1, 2, and 3, and down. All right, 3 more with resistance. Again, I'm going to use 2 fingers. Feel free to use your whole hand, whatever you want today. Up, squeeze, 1, 2, 3. Again, up, 1, 2, 3, and one more. Up, 1, 2, 3, and back down. Perfect. All right. That's how you should be doing bicep curls from now on. Obviously, if you have weights, you are going to be able to curl it and you'll get some contraction just naturally based off the motion, but really squeezing that muscle is going to help break it down that much more. All right, let's go with the tricep kickback today. This one's going to be a little different. So you're going to start here, you're going to bend over, elbow is going to be here. When you extend up, I want you to, wherever you're able to extend to, even if it's only to here, what I'd like you to do is try to hold it for 3 seconds and tense up your arm, particularly the back area of your arm. So right at the end, you're gonna squeeze pretty tight. Ready? So let's try it. We're gonna go 5 on one side, 5 on the other. Coming up, squeeze. 1, 2, 3. Good. And again, come back. 1, 2, 3. I should be tensing all right here. Ready? Again. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, and last one on this side. Again, 1, 2, 3. Beautiful. Let's go to the other side. Same thing, coming back. And begin. This arm comes up. 1, 2, 3. Feel free to make a fist if it helps. For me, it does a little bit. 1, 2, 3, and I'm squeezing. I feel it all down the back part of my arm. Again. 1, 2, 3. 2 more. 1, 2, 3, and last one. 1, 2, 3. Beautiful. All right, so those are 2 different ways that we can activate and make sure that we're focusing on squeezing. Let's try a different one this time. This time we're gonna go with more of a concentration curl. So this one's gonna come out in front. And I'm just gonna do the same thing, put an arm here, and I'm just gonna squeeze at the top. This time instead of squeezing for 3 seconds, because normally when you're doing curls or something, you're not squeezing for 3 seconds and then coming back down. It's normally up, quick squeeze, back down. So that squeeze is normally only a second. So we're gonna pick up the pace. The first 2 exercises were a lot more about letting you kind of catch up, understand how to squeeze. Now we're gonna still amplify or still apply that same squeeze, but it's gonna be in about 1 second as opposed to 3. So my arm's gonna come here, it's gonna come up to the middle. Again, I don't want it to come all the way up. The contraction is lost at this point. My bicep isn't working. Here's where it's gonna work maximally and then come back down. Ready? So again, I'm gonna place here. We're gonna go 5 each side. Go for it. 1, 2, 3. Again. 1, 2. Now going for 1. 1. Squeeze. 2. And 3. Good. Other side. Same thing. Here coming up. Just gonna put a little resistance. 1, 2, 3. Down, up. 1, 2. And the last 3 is just gonna be 1 second. 1, 2, and 1 more. 3. Beautiful. All right, next one we're gonna do, these are gonna be dips, but they're a little bit different than dips on a chair. These are a great beginner version of dips to just kind of teach you how to extend your triceps a little. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna get in what's called a crab position. What I'd like you to do is come down, place your hands behind you. Now there's 2 ways you can place your hands. You can place them forward so that your fingers are pointing towards your toes if you'd like. I tend to like my hands going sideways. The reason for that is when my hands are forward, my shoulders tend to come forward more and I put more pressure on them. When I go to the side out this way, I tend to put a little bit more pressure on my triceps. This is what you want for this exercise. That doesn't mean there's no shoulder involvement, but it does minimize it a little bit. All right, so I'm gonna come here, and all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna dip down until my butt touches the floor, and then I'm gonna shoot myself up. And when I shoot myself up here, what I want you to do is I'd like you to extend your triceps and squeeze your arms for 2 seconds. All right, that's it. We're gonna do 10 of them total. All right, so let's give it a shot. Ready? 1, 2, down. Up again. 1, 2. 1, 2, that's 3 of them total. Up. 1, 2. Squeezing those triceps rather than blasting up. 1, 2, that's 5. Again. 1, 2, that's 6. 1, 2, that's 7. 1, 2, that's 8. 1, 2, that's 9. And last one. 1, 2, that's 10. Beautiful. All right, so those are a couple different ways in which we can really work just the movement of our biceps and triceps. I'm gonna go through one last exercise today. This one works if I'm doing a full tricep extension behind my head, or I'm doing skull crushers as well. So it's gonna be a little different. Here's the way to do these. So I will, for these ones, I'm gonna do skull crusher or skull crusher position. My arms are just gonna be here. There's not gonna be a lot of resistance. What I'd like you to do is you're just gonna lower your arms, squeeze here, and then raise them back up. All right? So as I'm coming down, I'm squeezing for a second and then coming back up. This is gonna add a little more tension on my way down. We're gonna go for 5. Ready? Down and back up. Down, squeeze, and up. Down, squeeze, up. 2 more. Down, squeezing, and up, and down, and squeezing. Now, when it comes to weightlifting or bodybuilding, when you're at the point where it's the hardest, it's what's called a sticking point. With a sticking point, you always want to make sure that you're inhaling and then exhaling through the sticking point. So inhaling on the way down. Once you hit the sticking point, breathing out. Again, I'm sure many of you have heard me talk about this before, but when oxygen doesn't have a chance to get into your muscles don't have a chance to work. All right, so you got to make sure that you're breathing in, sticking point, you're tensing the muscles, breathing out. What I'd like you to do is I'd like you to go through this entire circuit again that we just did, and as you're coming up, so on a bicep curl, for example, as I'm coming up, I'm breathing in, breathing out at the sticking point, and then coming back down. And do it for every exercise. See if you can find where the sticking points are on the other ones. All right. Other than that, this is if you're very new to working out, you're new to weightlifting, try these motions first. Try making sure that you can tense your muscles at the appropriate point in time to get something out of it. And what you'll probably find, especially if you've never worked out before, is you're gonna feel a little bit of pressure and blood flowing through your arms because they're not used to any type of exercise. If you already exercise, yeah, try the same thing, but then try it with weights and see if you're able to find the sticking points, work on the breathing, and see if you can squeeze at the top of each exercise. If you've never done it, try it with just movements. All right, but this is a great way to come back and review for everybody, including myself, the correct way to do these exercises. And I will eventually be doing these exercises and the basic motions of them for chest, back, legs, and plenty of others. All right. Other than that, today I did want to give a big shout out to a friend of mine's band. His name is Alex Lopez. I'm rocking his shirt today. He's got great music. Please make sure you check out his channels. Outside of that, I do have a couple of announcements for you. The first one is for homework tonight. I'd like you to actually do the beginning arm circuit. Now, if you've never done anything like that before, you can do this one again, and that's fine. But I'd like you to go to the pre-recorded beginner arm circuit with the weights and try adding in the sticking points and the breathing that you just learned here. That's going to be your homework for tonight. Other than that, until I see you next time, don't stop until your good has become better and your better has become your best. This is Dalen Costigan with Ronin Fitness, signing off.